The second question about the market demand curve. Learning this chapter helps us to interpret the demand curve in a new perspective. In this chapter, the demand curve are interpreted as the maximum amount of money the consumer wants to pay. For instance, if you look at this diagram, corresponding to Fred, we can find the price is $1 million. So that means the maximum amount of money Fred wants to pay is $1 million. How about the colors? So corresponding to colors, we can find the price is $850,000. So that means colors want to pay $850,000 to buy the Porsche. And after we know the maximum amount of money they want to pay, and given the market price, we can find the difference between the consumer's willingness to pay to the market price will be called the consumer surplus. Now since we can read the graph clearly, we can move on to answer the following question. The first question asks us, if the market price is $825,000, how much consumer surplus is received by Hua? So in order to figure out the consumer surplus, we first need to find what is the maximum amount of money Hua wants to pay. So Hua is the third person on the demand curve. And then corresponding to Hua, and we find the price. So that is $900,000. So which means Hua's willingness to pay is $900,000. However, the market price is lower than Hua's maximum amount of money willingness to pay. So the consumer surplus, as I just mentioned, equal to the maximum amount of money this person wants to pay minus the market price. So we will have $900,000 minus $825,000. And you can use your calculator to calculate the final answer. So you will get $75,000. So this is the answer for the first question. Now look at the second question. If Bob's maximum price threshold doubled, how much consumer surplus would he have? So the same idea as the first question A. The only difference is after you find Bob's maximum price on the graph, you need to times 2 because the threshold doubled. And then you will do the same thing minus $825,000 and you will get the consumer surplus. So let me write it down. So first, we found Bob on the demand curve. Corresponding to Bob, and we found the price he wants to pay is $700. So that is he initially want to pay $700,000. Since this amount of money will be doubled, so it's equal to $1,400,000. So that is now how much he wants to pay. In order to calculate the consumer surplus, we use the same idea. You use the maximum price Bob wants to pay after doubled minus the market price. So that will be $1,400,000 minus $825,000, and what we will get. So you can use your calculator to do the calculation. So by doing the calculation, so I will give you some time to think about how much we will get. So you can use your calculator to do the calculation. What did you get? Yes, you should get $575,000. So that is Bob's consumer surplus after the price doubled. Now the last question, question number C. If all the spiders are sold for $800,000, what is combined consumer surplus? So now the question is, we are not only consider one consumer surplus, but we consider the whole market. The first question you need to answer is, if the market price is $800,000, how many people can afford it? So now let's go back to look at the graph. First, let's find the $800,000. So it's here. Then you can draw. You can start to draw a horizontal line. So any people no lower than this vertical line will be able to buy the car. So which means if the market price is $800, John, Carlos, Hua, Michelle, Fred, so these 5 persons can afford to buy the car, to buy the Porsche. But the question now is, how can we calculate the consumer surplus? So it's not a hard job. So we just calculate the Fred consumer surplus plus Michelle's consumer surplus plus Juan's consumer surplus plus Carlos' consumer surplus plus John's consumer surplus. So now let's do it one by one. So the Fred willingness to pay is $1,000,000. So we can start from Fred. So Fred consumer surplus equal to $1,000,000 minus $800,000, and we will get $200,000. Now we look at the second person. So the second person is Michelle. So based on the graph, and we can see that Michelle is willing to pay $950,000 as maximum. So his consumer surplus equal to let me go back, $950,000 minus $800,000. And what we get? We get 100. And we got $150,000. So that is Michelle's consumer surplus. Now the third person is called Hua. So Hua's maximum amount of price willingness to pay is $900. So what we will do is we calculate Hua's consumer surplus. So that is $900,000 minus $800,000. And then we got $100,000. So the last person, the fourth person is Carlos. So Carlos is willingness to pay $850,000. So Carlos consumer surplus is $850,000 minus $800,000. So we get $50,000. So the last person is our consumer called John. So John's maximum amount of money they want to pay is $800,000. So then we can calculate the John's consumer surplus is $800,000 minus $800,000 equal to 0. Now we can calculate the consumer surplus for the whole market by adding all the consumer surplus together. So that is $200,000 plus $150,000 plus $100,000 plus $50,000 plus 0. So you should get. So if you have a calculator, you can do the calculation. That is 2 plus 150,000 plus 100,000 plus 50,000 and plus 0 equal to, and we will get $500,000. So for this question, the answer will be $500,000. So the last one for question number 2 is, what is the total revenue for the car